Alright guys, what's going on? It's Epic here. Now, have you ever played a video game, a single player game especially, and thought, wow, this is really good, this would make a really good film? Well, in today's top 10, we are going to be looking at the top 10 films that are actually based on video games. Now, I will have to let you know right off the bat that the list of films to choose from, it was pretty poor, to be honest. Like, you're gonna have to bear with me basically, because some of the films on the list are probably right below average. A few of the films are decent, but like I said, you'll have to bear with me on that. I do know that some of the films aren't that good. But yeah, anyway, let's kick things off and get stuck into this top 10. So starting off with number 10, I've had to bend the rules a little bit with this one, so please forgive me, but that is going to be Tron. So the film is based on a fictional video game, with the actual game being released just afterwards. A computer hacker, played by Jeff Bridges, is abducted into the digital world and forced to participate in gladiatorial games, where his only chance of escape is with the help of a heroic security program. Tron, the arcade game, on the other hand, released in the same year as the Disney film. The player in the role of Tron has to beat 4 sub-games, each at 12 increasingly difficult levels. These are the Input-Output Tower, MCP Cone, Battle Tanks, and Light Cycles. So taking the number 9 spot is Lara Croft Tomb Raider. Of course, based on the classic Tomb Raider games, the video game adventuress Lara Croft comes to life in a movie where she races against time and villains to recover powerful ancient artifacts. Although the film features a good cast, with of course Angelina Jolie being perfectly suited as Lara Croft, it also features Jon Voight, Ian Glenn from Game of Thrones, and Daniel Craig. The film wasn't that well received, to be honest, with 5.8 stars on IMDb and just 20% on Rotten Tomatoes. The film's plot was pretty senseless and had action sequences with no real emotional impact. However, there is a new Tomb Raider film coming in 2018 with Alicia Vikander playing the role of Lara Croft this time, and I'm personally really excited about it. It does sound really good, and I think Alicia Vikander is going to be perfectly suited for that role. Now coming in at number 8 is going to be the film Need for Speed. Of course, inspired by the many NFS driving games, with my personal favourites probably being Underground 2 and Most Wanted, and that's going back to the PlayStation 2 days. The film actually released in 2014. Fresh from prison, Breaking Bad's Aaron Paul plays a street racer who is framed by a wealthy business associate and then joins a cross-country race with revenge in mind. His ex-partner, learning of his plan, places a massive bounty on his head as the race begins. Now, although that sounded pretty awesome, with the trailer of the film looking really good too, the film features stock characters and a pretty preposterous plot, with only the car chasing slightly fulfilling the needs of a Need for Speed adaptation. Coming in at number 7 is the Resident Evil series. Now, I know the first and last in the collection are probably looked at as the better of the 6, but I'm just going to lump them together for this top 10 as they generally are pretty similar. All the films, of course, feature Ukrainian-born actress Mila Jovovich. The movies tend to present impressive action sequences, but are just lacking in terms of plot and creativity. To be fair, Capcom, the games company themselves, did struggle with creating good Resident Evil games after the originals, with examples being 5 and 6, but they've massively redeemed themselves upon the release of Resident Evil 7. So number 6 on the list is going to be the Mortal Kombat movie. There's not really that much to say about this one. Mortal Kombat is pretty much what I need it to be honest. The games are campy, don't take themselves seriously at all, and neither does the film. Cheesy outfits, goofy martial arts, and of course some violence here and there. It's basically what you'd expect of this video game adaptation. Released in 1995, the film of course received some negative reviews, but it did perform well at the box office, earning $120 million from just an $18 million budget. At number 5, it's got to be Silent Hill. Now, I'm mainly referring to the 2006 adaptation for this one, although I do know there was a more recent film released called Revelation, but to be honest, that wasn't a very good film, so I'm just going to leave that out for this top 10. A woman called Rose goes in search for her adopted daughter within the confines of a strange, desolate town called Silent Hill. Although the film stars Lord of the Rings and Game of Thrones actor Sean Bean, as well as boasting impressive visuals, it is plagued by inane dialogue and a muddled plot, doing an average job at bringing this survival horror game to life. Taking the number 4 spot, we've got a series of animated video game adaptations, and these are the Final Fantasy films. The first film, which was released in 2001, boasts a good cast including Alec Baldwin and Steve Buscemi, and although the film raises the bar for these kind of adaptations, the story is pretty dull and emotionally removed. This is evident as the computer animated sci-fi did not perform well at the box office whatsoever, only earning $85 million from a massive $137 million budget. Now getting into the top 3 is a video game film that may surprise you, but that is Pokemon, the first movie, Mewtwo Strikes Back. Now I know the anime TV series was probably more popular and more well received than the movie, however this is a top 10 films list and I personally think it is definitely deserving of the spot. I remember going to the cinema, I was probably like 5 years old. Me and my brother went, we were really excited about it, and I specifically remember I think receiving a special edition Mew card, which was really cool. Despite receiving some negative reviews from critics, the first movie topped the box office charts in opening weekend, eventually grossing over $160 million worldwide. Now, taking the second place spot on this list, and also being the newest movie too, is going to be Warcraft. Of course based on the massive World of Warcraft game developed by Blizzard, an Orc horde invades the planet Azeroth using a magical portal, whilst a few human heroes and dissenting orcs must attempt to stop the true evil behind the war. Although the film received mixed reviews, it did showcase stunning visuals and perform well at the box office, so definitely expect some more films from this series soon. So before we get to the number 1 spot, I'll quickly feature some honourable mentions on the screen now. If you have any ideas for future top 10s, feel free to suggest them in the comments down below. Now finally, we're at that point, let's reveal what movie clinched the number 1 spot. So finally, coming in at the number 1 spot, it's got to be Prince of Persia: The Sands of Time. Primarily based on the video game that has the same title, a young fugitive prince and princess must stop a villain who unknowingly threatens to destroy the world with a special dagger that enables the magic sand inside to reverse time. The film stars Jake Gyllenhaal, Gemma Arterton and Ben Kingsley. It's suitably entertaining but a substantial improvement over most video game adaptations. So that is pretty much the list. Let me know if you agree with it, or if there's some films that I may have missed, please be sure to let me know by leaving a comment. To me, this does point out the fact that there aren't many good video game adaptations. Like, in my opinion, there's no film on this list better than a 7 out of 10. And I know there's a few video game films that have been announced in production or even just rumoured coming out over the next few years. So I do hope they definitely up the quality in comparison of the films on this list. But anyway, I hope you enjoyed this video. Hopefully I will see you guys next time for the next top 10. This has been epic, and I will see you guys later. Bye.